Hello all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on where you are watching this video from. The topic I'm going to be talking about is our testing strategy is going to catch 1,000 critical bugs, reduce testing time by 1,000x. What am I talking about? In the race towards becoming a cloud first, SaaS first company, you're racing towards a mirage that is far from reality. They think they have testing meticulously planned. They think they have the right people. They believe the quality is well planned. They think testing doesn't need experts and they could be the best decision makers pertaining to quality. So, what is chasing quality mirage really mean? Let me tell you a small story. Once upon a time, there was a man who decided to explore a large desert in the quest of finding gold. He had no prior experience. He did not consult the experts. He did not learn from other travelers. The man was overconfident, arrogant, and poorly planned. After a few days of walking in the desert, he started to see mirages which showed him pile of gold, and he was very happy. He was chasing the mirage and heading in that direction, but he did not find anything. He finally failed at his quest. Quality mirage is similar to the above story in search of gold, very far from reality. Companies think they have planned and strategized testing very well in their journey towards becoming a cloud SaaS company. To build this mirage of goal to achieving perfect quality, finding and fixing all critical bugs, 100% automation, and so on. The mirage gets built due to poor decision makers in the company who are leading it to fail due to their poor planning, overconfidence, inexperience, and others. When companies are moving from legacy to more modernized architecture, when companies are moving towards cloud, when companies are moving from monolith to microservices, when companies are trying to become a SaaS company, testing should be planned really, really well. Else, quality is going to be a mirage where you would always think, I'm getting closer to achieving the highest quality, and everything is sorted out in terms of quality, but that is very far away from reality. Why does this happen? And how does that happen? Let us look at it. When we are migrating from monolith architecture to microservices based architecture on what strategy to use, one strategy is triangular approach where we start building microservices and let them operate along with monolith. And at some point, microservices become so big that monolith becomes triangled and we shift completely to microservices. This needs a lot of change in terms of culture, people, attitude, strategy, planning, resourcing, tooling, and others. But when it comes to testing, when we are migrating to microservices, we tend to make minimal changes. We don't strategize well. We think whatever model worked earlier, we will continue that way. And some companies try to copy and replace something that worked for other companies. Others tend to go along with the industry trend and fall into a trap. Lack of testing strategy to test microservices along with the monolith, as it involves a lot of different setups, integration, stacking, test data, newer technologies, and others. Using a lot of cloud services and serverless, this can only get complicated if not planned well. There are examples where multiple microservices using a single data store and testing it comes with a lot of challenges and could get complicated without the right skill testers and a leader who could plan this very well. You would need leaders, testers who could think about the system as a whole, who can understand system design and work with architects to devise their test. Quality mirage would get built very easily here. Teams get into fights. This is not my area to perform integration tests and end-to-end tests. I would only test them to this integration point and not other integration points. Upstream and downstream expectations are not managed appropriately, due to which critical integration takes a hit. For example, if ABCD are four microservices, and if TA microservices is testing something and is not working fine with microservices B and C, microservices B, C, it's not working and flowing to my microservices, but it isn't moving to microservices C. And you will have to work with them. But microservices A is like, why the heck should I talk to B, C? There's a lack of culture that leads everybody to work together to succeed. A lot of times, each team is thinking about themselves to ensure the services are working fine. It's not a question of services working with each other, but services working as a whole. And who is going to coordinate to ensure the whole system works fine? Who's going to take that responsibility of ensuring that quality as a whole? With cloud, SaaS, microservices are going to grow in numbers and complexity without a strong quality plan in place. Companies are building a quality mirage here. The long journey of becoming a cloud first SaaS first company, the mirage gets built very early, and the mirage only gets bigger and bigger. Many a time it will be too late when companies realize it's a mirage. We all know Agile and DevOps have to work together to get the speed and quality a company needs and to be successful. We plan meticulously to roll out and implement Agile in companies, spend a lot of effort to set up Scrum teams, and operate and run various Scrum ceremonies as part of Scrum. What we don't realize is a lot of companies are running waterfall instead Agile. A lot of a lot of testing is anti-agile. Testing is poorly planned and a lot of dependencies are not addressed. Scrum teams wait on separate performance team to carry out performance testing, a separate security testing team to carry out security testing, and a common services team to provide them with environments and tooling to carry out their testing. They wait for hours to days to weeks to carry out their testing. They are always pressed for time. Companies need to address this, and they have to meticulously plan to make their teams truly agile. With proper planning and with poor planning and bad culture in place, companies are building a quality mirage here. Product management, R&D, PMO, and development teams have to collaborate very well to drive quality and customer success. But a lot of time, this does not happen in companies. Product management thinks SLA, SLI, SLOs are not part of the product requirements. They think it's the responsibility of SRE team, cloud team. Product management also thinks they don't have anything to do with this. Non-functional requirements are not fully considered, not planned. Product management thinks once the product is pushed to production, it isn't our responsibility how it works and runs in the production environment. The extensive testing that needs to be conducted is not factored in as part of product requirements. Tools, platforms, and solutions that are needed to test the requirements are not budgeted in and factored in as part of product requirements. Product management thinks once we deliver working software, the job is done. How can a feature or development teams carry out effective testing? What training tools, what tools, what kind of budget are needed if they are never discussed in product management? Working software uh, is not about functionally working. It's beyond that. Scalability, availability, reliability, and others doesn't come up until the product goes out. R&D doesn't care about what kind of issues persist in the cloud. Cloud only cares about uptime. So it gives a very rosy picture that we are all collaborating and form a great company, but the reality is quality is suffering. Companies are building a quality mirage here. We all think of DevOps where Dev and Ops are going to work together to get everything sorted, but quality is not sorted. Infra code is not tested. Ansible code is not tested. Pipeline as a code is not tested. And the whole moving parts of CI/CD pipeline is not tested. We all talk about faster CI/CD pipeline and robust pipelines, but rarely do we talk about how these pipelines could help with testing and also help carry out effective testing. CI/CD pipeline doesn't address the requirements of test data. Everything builds from scratch out of the golden images, which leads to lack of test data to carry out adequate testing. We still struggle to manage test data effectively due to which testing is heavily impacted. Everything is as code today, but not test data, due to which testing is adversely affected. Companies are building a quality mirage here. Contractors are bought in to accelerate the transition to cloud SaaS. In the process, contractors write UI automation tests that are heavily redundant, lack sufficient quality and coverage. They aren't peer reviewed due to time crunch. The whole team doesn't have a meticulous process to ensure UI test automation adhere to a standard process meets the requirements since everybody is busy with their own stuff. And most of the managers of various teams doesn't have a background on testing, due to which they fail to guide the team in the right direction. It's utter chaos sometimes due to lack of ownership. Companies are building a quality mirage here. Performance tests are poorly planned, not looking at the right concurrency, what's the required hits, what are the actual requirements to be met, the data volume is inadequate, reports are not reviewed. Everybody just cares about running tests, meeting the SLA of 1 to 2 seconds. SLAs can also be met with poor performance planning. Releasing products without benchmarking the containers, the pods, the Kubernetes clusters, tenants, and others. Also, not focusing on scalability, disaster recovery, sizing, charge testing. Many a times, it is all great talking along these lines, but when it comes to doing action work, a lot of these are not done due to lack of good resources, tooling, expertise, time, and budget. And quality suffers, and poor quality gets pushed into production. Companies are building a quality mirage. Performance is still not automated the way it needs to be on the DevOps pattern, especially with legacy and other applications. It is still a challenge, but leaders showcase this as though it is easy testing that could be performed, certified, and released without realizing they are building a quality mirage here. Cross-browser testing is another area. How could you carry out effective cross-browser testing without actually having a way to navigate to all pages and validating whether they meet all the requirements? Tools and technology required to achieve this is very, very challenging. And a lot of companies skip this by restricting to one or few pages that can be run using Selenium UI automation. Companies are building cross-browser testing garage here. Without a strong leader and a background in testing, testing is being planned, pursued, and executed to suit individual needs. Sometimes an individual to cover his or her incapabilities, he or she would define and execute testing in his or her own way, which is easy, irrelevant, and inefficient. And he or she convinces the development team and product management to believe this is the right way to test. And they proudly say, we have automated 100% and we have provided 100% test coverage. Executive leaders many a time fall into this trap, and also there are leaders who define in their own ways how testing can be planned, conducted, and executed. On one side, technically, people define how testing could be performed. On another side, testing folks fighting the battle of underpaid, being dictated, demotivated, underskilled, and others. Everybody looks at an easy way that is all green on the dashboard. It says testing is 100% completed, 1,000 test cases have been executed, and nobody digs to find out if 1,000 test cases are all redundant and do they provide do they really provide the coverage that is. In today's world, speed is everything, and the whole organization would be happy if team shows a dashboard where they display the testing 100% automated and executed and ready to release. Everybody is trying to contribute to this testing mirage, which is far from reality. Who's to be blamed? The mirage would only get bigger because companies look at dashboards which shows quality as green, yellow, and red. Nobody really bothers to dig deep to understand what it really takes to be green. What are the criteria? Do we have the right criteria, the right way of measuring, and so on? Who to be blamed? Everybody who is part of this is to be blamed, especially decision makers in the race towards becoming a cloud and a SaaS-first company. Are you building a quality mirage in your company? Credits to Go for PowerPoint template. About me, my name is Mahesh. I work at a company called Elusive. I work as a software development manager. This is my LinkedIn profile URL if you want to connect and chat with me. Finally, thank you, TechStrix, for all the test drive for all the opportunity provided. Thanks.